Hello, back to the alarmists, conspiracy theories, and coffee. Today, we're doing the evening edition, and we're going to talk about women's issues. Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about what people think that are going on in this world with women because of the Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, and just in general, the state of mind we're all in with this crazy pandemic. Today, I have two amazing people, amazing women. Jill Stacy, who I've known since I was a young kid in high school, and Lucy Katakapa Gordon, who is one of the great singers and great coaches in Long Island and New York. And I'm bringing them on today to talk about how they feel about what's happening in the world, from what they do professionally to personally, and to what they see going on in this COVID-19 world. All right, Jill Stacy, Lucy, come on.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Hi, girls. How are you? Now, we're going to get right into it. We are living in crazy times. And not only has our lives been compromised because of COVID-19, people can't get jobs. And it's changed our behavior. I mean, just from getting pandemic fatigue and just not being able to do the things that we want to do. And it's probably going to stay like that. I want to get your view because it all started, with the Me Too movement. And then it started to get more into Black Lives Matter. And then the pandemic hit. And I'm just curious what your viewpoints are. I'm going to introduce Jill Stacy first. Jill has a book that's out and actually has a second book that's coming, Never Been Free, Never Been More Free. And she's going to tell us to start what she sees, because the book that has written is about her life. And it's also takes on, there it is in the big bold print, and what it's like to take on being a woman, her sexuality, being married, and a lot of other things. Jill, give us your viewpoint and how you see the world right now.
My pleasure. Thank you. Yes, Jesse, it took me 4 years to write these two books, and the stories just spilled out of me. The first book is called Never Been More Free. I know you've read it, and it's on Amazon. I self-published, and that's just a testament to what a woman can do. The second book is called She's Never Been More Free, and it's a spin-off of one of the characters from the first book.
Now, what made you write it? What made you write this?
Okay, so that's exactly what I'm here to share with you, because the first book they're both fiction, but there's so many truths going on in the story. The story's main character is a powerful woman. She's a Hollywood starlet, but she wants to be what we would call the typical American male type of guy. It's okay for men to have multiple sexual partners, but why isn't it okay for women? So I take this dichotomy of this strong woman, but she plays female roles, the typical female roles of our past, of the 50s, 60s, 70s. She's our age. She's in her mid-50s.
Yeah. Watch your language.
Age is just a number, and mine's unpublished. And what the other lead character is a man who goes through a divorce from his alcohol-dependent wife. And
No, Jill, I'm going to interrupt because I know that the books reflect a lot of what happened in your own life. The characters are based on real things.
The divorce, the alcohol dependency of the spouse, that sort of thing. But to get to the heart of the matter, and why I wrote this is because I have not just a story to tell, but a message to send.
And what is the message?
And the message is that there should be equality amongst the way that we think about men's and women's roles. But like I always say, if you have a marriage and one person is taking out the garbage and the other person is emptying the dishwasher, and those are your roles. It doesn't matter whether it's a woman who's doing the kitchen work or the man who's doing the garbage. Everyone has their role. And so we've been role defined by our sexual orientation. And I want to change that. I want everyone to have roles because everyone brings 100% to a relationship, or whether it's a business relationship or a loving relationship, a marriage.
But Jill, we've been fighting. You're talking about everybody wants to be equal, but for the first time ever, we've had this battle going on for hundreds of years. But
Jesse, the only way to make it the way that I vision the future is to play as it is. If the more normal,
what does that mean? What does that mean?
The
Play
more
as
normal and the more exposed we are, the faster that change will come, and that's what's happening with.
But why is it, like, Lucy? Why is it, do you think, that change is really happening now? I mean, even the Washington Redskins are going to be forced to change their name. Why are we sticking to our guns this time and making real change?
Because
Lucy,
that we teach people how we want to be treated. It's an individual's responsibility to teach how you should be treated.
It sure is. But no matter what happens right now in society, in the world, we have differences. Women are women, men are men, whites are whites, blacks are blacks. We need those differences to be who we are. We can't all be the same. Women are always going to use their sexuality in a marriage, in the workplace. It's just part of life. I mean, yes, we need to be treated equally. The more we're together, the more we are with one another. And
right,
I think
Lucy,
if we live together,
you're
and work
absolutely
together,
right.
You're still going to be.
I'm going to explain
That edge is
something
going to be
when
there.
I
It's
say
not
equal,
going away.
Right. When I say equal isn't the same. I have a twin brother. And when it was our birthday, when we were children, my mother bought me a Barbie and him a bicycle because I wanted a Barbie and he wanted a bicycle. Did they need to buy us two Barbies or two bicycles because that would be equal? No. Equal does not mean the same.
Yeah, I never got a Ken. Nobody gave me Ken. They gave me G.I. fucking Joe.
That's not what I mean. What I mean, you're funny. That's not what I mean.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
The person, myself, or you, using your sexuality to get something, it's always going to exist. So I think it's up to the individual to not do that, to not act like a bubblehead, to not turn your shoulder and go, it's.
So is Harvey Weinstein? Is Harvey Weinstein the evil monster that he really is, or is there a whoa? I won't go there. I'm not touching this one. Oh shit! But there's so many people out there that really hate Donald Trump, and it makes me think: are they doing this more to disrupt his ability to get reelected?
It's politics, when. Black Lives Matter, I'm not going to comment on that because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about individuals, but it's politics. Black Lives Matter is politics and politics is politics. But getting back to the Me Too movement and what's going on, it's up to the individual woman. It's up to, well, I'll give you an example. My first job, it was in an auto parts store, and Bernie something, I can't remember his last name, pulled me down on his lap. I was 16 years old in the office with other women working, turned out the lights and put his hand up my skirt. Okay.
Wow.
And the other women in the office allowed.
And what did you do about it? What did you do about it?
I froze. I pushed him away. He said, "We can't start the workday unless you give me a kiss on the cheek." He would put lotion on his hands, aftershave, and go like that. And we have to start our day. And he'd ask for a kiss on the cheek.
And what did you do?
I kissed him on the cheek because there were other women there older than me that said.
So you felt peer pressure.
I was 16 years old.
You felt peer pressure.
I knew it was wrong. My boyfriend worked for the company. I told him to watch out for me. And then this guy used scare tactics. He had me work in the warehouse on a ladder, all by myself in a cold warehouse where there was a really mean German Shepherd patrolling the place, and he told me, watch out for the dog. So he was trying to break me down. So I worked like maybe a month and then I quit. That's all I could do at that time.
Well, thank you for having the courage to share that with us. That's pretty,
I have a lot of courage. I'll share more.
Yeah. And Jill?
Right. Whenever I go to a book signing party, I sign my book, Courage Equals Freedom. And we all have stories, multiple stories. and it's just the way of the world.
Share
But I
one
wanna
of
go
yours.
back to
Share
what
one of
you said,
yours.
Jesse, about and also Lucy, you said about the individual. Yes, we're all individuals. We must do our part. But the basic hierarchy of needs is to belong to a community. And as a Jew, Jesse, and as I am as well, when you say, well, all lives matter, and so I take exception with that, because I wouldn't want to be minimalized if it was a Jewish issue, which it is. We do have anti-Semitism. So I say Black Lives Matter. I know that all lives matter, but this is their issue now, and it's very much in the forefront of what needs to change, and I'm doing what I can to do that.
I like the fact that you explained that. That's a very good point you just made, and I really like that. Why now? Why are we being so politically correct now? Why are we conscious of all this stuff
Because
now?
we're worn down from the big orange.
Who's wearing us down? Donald Trump? Who's doing that?
The world is vulnerable. Our country is vulnerable right now. Everyone is at the end of their nerves. Yes, because of the politics of the country.
Is it more
Also
because of the pandemic, or is it a combo of both?
Because of the
It's
pandemic,
both.
we saw a big financial differentiation, right? There were 6-hour lines, 6-mile lines here in Florida for people getting food put in their trunk.
Wow.
My white privilege, I didn't have to do that. But you know who was on those lines? Blacks, Hispanics, the
yes, Jill,
privilege.
yes, but not all Blacks and Hispanics were on that.
Not all.
The ones that are like you, that have the lifestyle that you have, which are many Blacks in this country. Don't say all Blacks are on that line, because it's not fair.
I know. I said they were.
I know you didn't say all, but many
Hispanics.
Blacks were at home, just like me and you, collecting unemployment or working and continuing life as normal. It just so happens that in a lot of these cities, the lower income people happen to be people of color. But then there are cities in our country where the people who are of lower income are not of color. So they were on lines too, but the news didn't show that. They only showed what they want to show.
Now that's interesting. I'm going to interrupt right here. Lucy, that's a great point. I mean, depending on what network you watch will depend on what you see and hear. If you watch CNBC or MSNBC or NBC or CBS, you're going to get a left-wing point of view. If you watch Fox News, or anything like that, you're going to get a right-wing point of view. This is the problem. There was a key tipping point for me when Trump became president, and Kellyanne Conway was being interviewed by Jake Tepper. And Jake said to Kellyanne, "I'm sorry, Kelly, but this is the truth." And you know what her response was, which was a really damning response? She said, "Well, Jake, that's your version of the truth. I have mine." And that to me was a very calculated and damning statement, because the minute that you take away what the truth really is, you create a blurry line. The minute you don't have reasonable doubt in a court of law, you cannot convict. And the blurrier that line is, the more people in power and politics can do whatever the hell they want. As a close, all right, now Lucy, I would like you to tell us what you do, because nobody knows. We know what Jill's an author, but we never gave you a chance to tell us what you do. You're an amazing vocal teacher. You helped shape my children's lives, and you became a friend, not just a teacher coming to teach my kids. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks, Jesse, and it's so great knowing you and your family. And Jill, I can't wait to read your books, and I hope we get to meet in person. So I am a vocal coach. I'm also a vocalist. I do my own gigs out on the North Fork with a band called Sahara. I'm also with City Express Band doing weddings all over the tri-state area. I write a little bit, I sing, I do recordings with people, and I'm a vocal coach mostly in the Hamptons, mostly for the year-round people who work really hard and make the Hamptons what they are. And when the pandemic hit and the lockdown happened, I was prepared, because I had already done some online teaching over the years using Skype, but this time around I used FaceTime and Zoom. And I was able to continue teaching my students weekly. And it was such a savior. I mean, it was such a lifesaver, because I was panic stricken. I was anxious. I couldn't sleep. I had to put like what I did today. I put a little in my coffee cup.
Don't tell
Hey.
everybody. It's a secret.
Oh, come on.
What do
I
you
put a
think? This
little
coffee
cinnamon
cup's got
my
nothing in
coffee
it?
cup.
Listen, I
No,
got
not
reinforcements.
Yeah. The point is, what are we here for? What do our lives need?
You're on my show.
Get to as a parent, but what we're here for is to experience joy and to give joy. And right. And so how you do that through your talents and your intellect and whatever you have to provide for others and for yourself. So it can be through the voice or changing lives in any medium. And yes, I hope that people read my books and it sparks
Sparks
a
change.
fire to make changes in their own
Yeah.
lives. And also, at the back of both my books, I have a section called Book Club Discussion Prompts, or things for discussion and contemplation. And it sort of gets into my head as to why.
Give the viewers where they can reach you. Give them your web address or
Okay,
email.
well, I don't have a website, but you can find me on Facebook at Jill Stacey, Stacey, and on Instagram at Tada1122, TADA.
And on Twitter?
And also, my books are on Amazon. Never Been More Free, and She's Never Been More Free. And the She's Never Been More Free is actually a Holocaust survivor story. My mother was a Holocaust survivor, and I sort of changed some things and made it fiction.
Great.
But so
When is it coming out? Is it out? Is it out yet?
It's very pertinent to these times.
Is She's Never Been More Free out yet?
Yeah, they're both out. Yeah.
They're both out. Great. And Lucy, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me on Instagram at Lucy the L Train Music, and also on Facebook, Lucy Caracappa -Gordon. So you can find me there.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for lending me your ear on the issues. It was a great conversation.
Thanks, Jill.
Big hug,
Stay
virtual
healthy.
hug. Come on, give me a virtual hug. All right, thank you, ladies. Sort of the alarmists, conspiracy theories, and coffee has closed. But what a great conversation we had about women's issues and women's rights. Thank you for joining me. Peace.